Hi there, and welcome to another update. I haven't done one for ages, and so I thought it would be about time I did one. It's the middle of summer in the UK. I've been back. Well, I returned back here on April the 12th, and it's now the end of July, and so that means what? April, May, June, July. So 3 months and a bit, and I'm doing really well. My recovery is going as well as I could hope. I have recently had some blips though, and the blips have left me wondering whether I'm a failed responder, which means that the HSCT initially worked or appeared to work, and then I I failed in my recovery, and it had stopped working, or the heat, or the HSCT roller coaster. So I don't know if I talked about this last time, whether I was suffering a little bit then, but it's been really, really hot here in the UK, and I've had some of my twitching coming back into my legs at night. I have noticed that my coordination or my walking isn't quite as top as it was just a few weeks before. And my mind hasn't been as clear. I suppose my motivation and fatigue levels have suffered a bit. But then we've just had the hottest July on record in the UK, and so everyone seems to be telling me that that's MS and heat. And as we all know, MS is really bad in heat, and as little as a quarter of a degree change in body temperature can screw your MS up and your symptoms up. So now that that little heat wave is over and we've got sort of wind and rain today, I'm hoping that I will see some kind of an uptick in how my symptoms are. I'm fairly confident it is just heat, and what's interesting is I'm no worse at all than I was before I had my treatment. So taking that into account, obviously things are good, but it's just I think this blip. You always worry and you have these anxieties about whether the whole treatment and the whole effort and the whole fundraising is going to work, and I'm confident that it has worked, but these little blips do give you a bit of a jolt. But essentially, I'm really living my life, and I've said this in the last couple of videos. My life is basically returned to normal. So as you can see, hair-wise and recovery from chemo, I'm maybe a little grayer than I was, but generally colour has returned and hair texture and what have you. And I am doing all the things that I was doing before. So I've been out in the garden. I've been out in the garden for a couple of months, actually. I've basically been a bit of a naughty person when it comes to my recovery and what I should and shouldn't do. And I've basically done everything. I've even been swimming in the sea. So, don't follow my regime of recovery, because it'll probably get you into trouble. But everything's been fine with me. The only thing I haven't done is swimming in the swimming pool, but I'm pretty confident I'm going to do that fairly soon, because I want to get back to doing exercise, and that's because swimming keeps your body temperature cold. That is the one form of exercise that I really want to maintain. So that's where I'm at. I'm still seem to be recovering well. I'm doing all the things I would normally do. I even went back to work as a teacher. I'm a teacher, and the last couple of days of the summer term were inset days, training days, and I went into school for those training days. So I'm trying to, and I will be starting at work after September, or in September, at the beginning of the academic year. I will be having what's called a phased return. So I won't be returning to my full hours straight away, but I'll start at sort of 50% and work up over a month back to my full hours. And that obviously, I'm a little bit anxious about going back to work, only because I know it'll be a quite a tough year next year, with quite a few challenges. So there is that to contend with, but I need to go back to work, that's absolutely right and proper that I do that really as soon as I can, within reason. And yeah, so that's happening, and I am also, well, I've done 5 weeks of it so far, but the MS nursing team in my local area has put together a fatigue management course, which I've been doing, and we've done 5 weeks now. I had a few different things. The last one was on mindfulness and a bit of psychology, and that's been really good. So it's really great to have a supportive team that does these proactive things. So there's about probably 15 of us in the group that are doing this fatigue management course and giving a few tips and hints as to how to manage fatigue, because you're not going to cure fatigue, it's always going to be there, but given that you need to get on with working or with life or with having a family, how do you manage your fatigue as best as possible, as well as possible. I'm doing most of the things well. So diet is pretty good. I'm vegan plus fish still. Exercise I could do a little better at the moment, to be honest. I've been a bit lazy, and where I am poor is my sleep hygiene. So I'm pretty bad at getting enough sleep and getting to sleep early enough. So that's something I really need to work on. But generally, most of the things I'm quite good at. I am going to try a bit more mindfulness, living in the here and now, rather than filling my mind up with loads of stuff and arguing online and all that kind of stuff that I do far too much of, and I probably need to just clear my mind out a bit and ease my psychological self, so that I can, maybe that will help me deal with fatigue issues and contentedness and whatnot. I'm pretty happy, so things are fine on that front. Yeah, so recovery is going well, and I had bloods done after 2 months. That's probably a month ago now, and they're a bit up and down, like a bit like my previous bloods, in that some were good, couple, and like my lymphocytes took a bit of a dip, but other things went back up, and I've come to the conclusion it's all a bit up and down, but my bloods are generally pretty decent, and I have full confidence, without the need to continue testing my blood, that my bloods will return, or have returned probably, to their normal ranges. It's interesting. I do get contacted by people on Facebook about advice for HSCT, which is great. I think even someone from the MS Society is putting people onto me, and I'm more than happy to do so, because I really think it should be given the limelight as far as being the most prevalent form of treatment for all types of MS. So, and all the MS sufferers that I speak to on a regular basis, which I do, fatigue management course and what have you, I do sing the praises of HSCT. I try not to be too evangelical, but basically to try and put the record straight as far as people's misconceptions are concerned, because there are quite a few misconceptions about HSCT, and sing its praises where appropriate. But yeah, so not really a lot to report, other than basically I'm living life as normally as possible, although I'm obviously not as active as I would have been like 5 years ago, or 2 years ago. But certainly, things are looking good, and I'm in a pretty good place. So long may that continue, and hopefully with the end of that heat wave, where I have been showing some of the old symptoms back again, I will see those dissipate a little bit, as we get some cooler weather. So fingers crossed. But anyway, as ever, if you've got any comments, please, put them below or on my blog, or please subscribe, probably somewhere there, who knows. and that would be wonderful. Anyway, take it easy and speak to you soon, I hope.